Hi everyone and welcome to the fourth episode of Locker Room Talks, where we discuss some interesting NHL news and events. And first I want to apologize. There was no podcast for 2 weeks. The reason is my illness. I was so sick I couldn't even talk, so that was the reason. But now I'm here and we are gonna discuss NHL playoffs, and I'm gonna share with y'all my predictions for the first round. So Flames didn't make the playoffs. That's so sad, but we are here to discuss playoffs, and we have 8 interesting pairings, and I have some interesting thoughts to share with you. I have some predictions, and some of them may be surprising, but I think that is what's gonna happen. So we're gonna start Vegas Golden Knights against Winnipeg Jets. That's the first pairing we're gonna discuss, and in my opinion, the Jets will win this series and the Knights will flop. In my opinion, Jets will win in 6. There are some reasons for it. At first, I wanna admit that I'm not a Knights fan and I'm not a Jets fan, and I'm so upset that Jets made the playoffs instead of the Flames. But we need to say that Jets have really great team this season. Also, the Knights have great team, but if we speak about playoffs, in my opinion, the key facts in the playoffs are great leader, experienced leader, playoff experienced leader. That's really matters. Then great goalie and some young players who can give that fire in your game. And in my opinion, Knights don't have great experienced leader because, they have Eichel, Stevenson. Stevenson is a great player. In my opinion, he's one of the most underrated players in the whole league. But Kessel, Eichel, Stevenson, Stone, but I don't see those players like that experienced. Yeah, you can say they made finals, but Stone and Stevenson, yeah, they did. Kessel have 2 cups, yeah, but Eichel has no experience in his bag, so that's gonna be the problem. And the Jets, they have great experienced offense, like Ehlers, Connor. I can't remember anyone else, but I know they have so good experienced players, and at their offense they have great defense. Morrissey, Stanley, Pionik, Demelio, they are so good, and they have Connor Hellebuck at the net, who is really great this season. And in my opinion, Jets will win in 6. Maybe that's controversial take, but I think that's really gonna happen. Vegas is not going anywhere, and in my opinion, Jets will make the second round instead of the Knights. So the second pairing, Los Angeles Kings against Edmonton Oilers. In my opinion, that's gonna be the most interesting pairing, the most interesting series in the first round. Why? Because from the one side, we have Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and very fire offense. Like, they are really fire. They can score like 7 or 8 goals in a game. But then, in the same team, we have no defense, absolutely no defense, no goaltending and no defense. Oilers realize that, and they will try to play like we will score more than we let. They will try to score as much as they can. But from the opposite team, we have really good offense, also good offense, great defense. I don't think that Joonas Korpisalo is a great goalie, but if we remember his play like 3 overtimes against Maple Leafs in the bubble, where he made 81 save, if I'm not mistaken, that fact shows us that Joonas Korpisalo is a really good goalie. What do we have? Kings, in my opinion, stronger than the Oilers, even though Oilers have those 100-point player this season, but Kings have Kempe, Kopitar, and a bunch of youngsters who can make the difference, and they have defense. That's the key in that series, because while Oilers will try to score 5 or 6 goals, their tries will be ruined by great defense of LA. From the opposite, if Kings will try to score some goals, and they will score. We have no defense, absolutely no defense at the Oilers side, and that's gonna matter. That's really the thing that will matter. And in my opinion, Kings will beat the Oilers in 6 games. Yeah, somebody told me like Oilers will win the cup this season. But as I told in the first episode of Locker Room Talks, Oilers won't win the cup with McDavid. No, they won't. So the third pair we have Avalanche against Kraken. And in my opinion, that's gonna be the easiest series for the Avalanche, because you may say Kraken have really great team. Kraken will win 1 or 2 games, but I think they can is to win 1 game, and they need to be so lucky. In my opinion, they are so young. They will lose this series. They will lose another series in the next season in the playoffs. But then, from time to time, they will get experience, and then they will win something finally. Because you need to have some experience to win in playoffs. What do Kraken have? They have nothing. They are so young. This young team is only 2 years of age, and it's their first playoff. So I think Avalanche will beat the Kraken so easy in that series. 5 games. In my opinion, that's gonna be 5 games. And as the final series at the West, we have Stars against Wild. Stars against Wild. In my opinion, that's gonna be one of the most bored series in the whole first round, because I don't see something interesting in that series. In my opinion, Stars will win in 6, and you may ask why. Stars have just more experience and more playoff players like Pavelski, Sogin, Ben. They really have those players, and in my opinion, Stars may end up in the finals, but we're gonna talk about it later. And what do we have from the Wild? Like great youngsters. What do we have from the Wild? Great youngsters, not so good at defense, and not good and not bad goaltending. So, and if we speak about Stars goaltending, there is Jacob Oettinger, who is really the beast. He is really the guy who will carry the Stars, maybe to the finals, because in my opinion, Stars have everything to make finals. And if we speak about finals, West final is gonna be Kings against Stars, in my opinion. But one more time, we're gonna talk about it later. So we go into the East, and there we have Bruins against Panthers. And in my opinion, Boston Bruins so lucky they got Panthers instead of Islanders in the first round. Why? Because in my opinion, Panthers are really the team who can do nothing, and Bruins will sweep them, I think. Boston in 4, that's my take. And why Boston is lucky? Because New York Islanders is really the team that, in my opinion, Islanders is a dark horse in that playoffs. Because they have so great squad, they have experience, playoff experience squad, great goalies too. Both of the goalies may save the game, and great defense. So I think Islanders is a dark horse. And if we speak about their pairing, where they play against Carolina Hurricanes, I think New York Islanders will beat Carolina in 7 games. Yeah, that's my take. It's gonna be one of the most interesting series in the whole first round. So, Boston against the Panthers. Boston in 4. Hurricanes against Islanders. Islanders in 7. And now we have 2 pairings left, and they are so interesting as well. So, Rangers against Devils. In my opinion, Rangers will beat the Devils in 6 games, and I'm not sure that Devils have future in that team. They had great rebuild. They showed everyone how they have to make a rebuild, because they really did it like you have to do that way. If you want to rebuild, do it like the Devils, because now they have really great team that can fight. But in playoffs, I think Rangers will beat them because Rangers have Panarin, Zibanejad, Kreider, Kane, Tarasenko, guys who has really great cup experience. Kane and Tarasenko both have more cup experience than the whole Rangers team combined. So that's gonna be the case. And if we speak about top scorers in that team, I don't think that Panarin will score a lot. I don't think that Zibanejad will score a lot. I think that Tarasenko and Kane will score a lot, and they will score like 10 goals this series each, maybe combined. So, and we are heading to last series, and that's gonna be, you can film a movie from that series, because that's gonna be Maple Leafs against the Lightning, second year in a row, and the question is, will Maple Leafs make it past the first round? And in my opinion, we'll have the same answer as we had last year. In my opinion, Lightning will beat the Maple Leafs in 7 games. And that's because Lightning is the team that will win the cup this season, in my opinion. Maybe, and maybe not. And in my opinion, I really think that Lightning will win the Eastern Conference, because they're so strong and they will beat Boston. They'll beat Boston. So, but what about Maple Leafs? They have great team. They have O'Reilly. Like they traded for him. I don't see them as a cup contender ever with Matthews and Marner. Because Matthews is a great regular season sniper. Marner is a great regular season combined player. Like, he can shoot, he can pass. Nylander, he's one of the most underrated players in that team, but as well, he's not a cup experienced player. And Tavares, O'Reilly, like, those players won't help them. And that is the reason, in my opinion, we really have like the exact same situation as it was last year. And maybe Matthews will leave the Maple Leafs after that series, because Maple Leafs will lose to the Lightning once again. So we talked about playoffs, but now let's talk about the teams that didn't make the playoffs, and we're gonna talk like the most disappointing teams this season who didn't make the playoffs. So, in my opinion, one of the most disappointing team in the West, obviously there was Flames, but we're not speaking about them, was Blues, because they tried to make a really good team. They won the cup. They had really great team, and even in that season, they had really good team. And then suddenly, in the middle of the season, they decided to sell their key players and make the rebuild. Like, we won't make the playoffs. Okay, we'll sell our top scorers. We'll sell our leaders, and what they will end up with next season. I don't really think that Blues will make the playoffs next season, and as well, I don't really think the Blues will make the playoffs like next 3 seasons, because they traded O'Reilly, they traded Tarasenko, and they have like nothing, not so much. That's not enough to make a full rebuild in 2 or 3 years, and the Blues will really have like some problems next 2 or 3 seasons, in my opinion. And that's very disappointing, because I remember the season when they won the cup, and that was really great. I really love that team, and see Jordan Binnington in that form, see Tarasenko and Riley in different teams, and see Blues missing the playoffs is really hurting me a lot, because I kind of cheer for them. And as I see their 12th place at the East, they lost even to Vancouver, to the Canucks, in the standings. They are below the Canucks in the standings. That's not great because Canucks, they admitted that we are in rebuild, and they even fired the coach during the season, and the Blues still below them. That's not so good in my opinion. So also, I should say some words about the Penguins because they missed the playoffs first time since they draft Sidney Crosby, and that was so surprising. They missed the playoffs by 1 point, as well as Buffalo, I should say, as well as Sabres. But we'll speak about Sabres. You know, in my opinion, the Penguins need some fresh blood because they have Malkin, they have Crosby. Those players are good, but they need some freshmen who can fire the game, who can like give some emotions. But as I remember, last seasons they only got Jeff Carter from the Kings. That was last season, maybe. I don't remember exactly. So what do we have? We have really old team. This team is really old. And also, they have so bad goaltending. I mean, Jarry and Desmond, that's not the goalies who you can fight for the cup with. So, they need to change something in their squad. And in my opinion, they can trade some players for the youngsters. And we have some great youngsters. I mean, Islanders have great youngster Arto Ratu from Finland. He's really great. If we look at his stats, I can't name them. I can't tell you anything about his game, but I watched him sometime and he's really great. And they need to change their goalies. They need to trade them maybe, and maybe they can try to have some goalies from bigger teams. I mean, why can't they try to trade for Anderson from Carolina? I don't know. Why can't they try to trade for like Oettinger? I know he won't leave the Stars, but maybe with Edmonton they can trade. So there are so a lot of options. And the Sabres, we need to speak about the Sabres because this is the team I cheered for during this wildcard race, and once again they missed the playoffs, and once again they missed the playoffs by 1 point. That hurts. That hurts a lot because this Sabres team is the best Sabres team I've ever seen since 2015, maybe. Because this team is really the team that can win. They showed it. Thompson is a great sniper, and if someone will compare Thompson to Matthews, no, guys, you need to compare Matthews to Thompson. In my opinion, Thompson is better than Matthews as of right now, and you can say like Matthews has more something, more some awards, more accolades. Like Tage Thompson is playing in this league only for second season, if I'm not mistaken, and he's already taken the Sabres into another level. Now they fighting for the wild card spot instead of just fighting for the first pick in round. So that's really great. And one more team that really disappointed me this season is Red Wings. Red Wings had really great chances for the playoffs, and they fought for the wild card spot during like half of the season and even more. But then they decided to trade Bertuzzi to the Bruins, and that trade buried their chances to make the playoffs. They really could. They have great young team, but Sabres, in my opinion, is better team than Red Wings as of right now, and even Sabres didn't make the playoffs, but Red Wings have Larkin, and he really can be like the key player to making the playoffs. So I think if Red Wings really wanted to make the playoffs, they had to make Bertuzzi stay in the Red Wings. But as we see, 12th place at the East, and that's not so good. So that's all I want to discuss with y'all. Thank you for listening. Hear you soon.